articulate and dynamic politicians. Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting and Textiles, Smriti Irani. She's seen her career take off ever since the 2014 elections, where she took the fight to Rahul Gandhi in Amethi. All of us remember that. She was given charge of the high-profile HRD ministry and later the IMB ministry as well. And she's made an impact, as you know, wherever she's gone. She's a former television actress and producer and a formidable debater, ladies and gentlemen, whom the BJP has employed to good effect to fight its corner on key issues. Also welcoming this evening, Prasoon Joshi. He's a poet, a screenwriter, advertising and communication professional, and since last year, as you know, the chairperson of the Central Board of Film Certification, or the Censor Board. He has won a string of Filmfare and National Film Awards for his lyrics, and he's also a Padma Shri winner. Welcome, Smriti ji and Prasoon Joshi. We are looking forward to this discussion, looking through the New India lens. The discussion will be moderated by Maria Shakil, our political editor.
Ma'am, thank you so much for coming, and Prasoon ji, thank you so much for your time here. Looking through the New India lens, what is it that you see when you look through this lens?
I see a creative explosion of an old civilization. I see it aided by technology, but challenged by it as well. I see hope for a new tomorrow based on lessons of the past. And I see new achievements, an old set of ideas with a new vigor where we rediscover ourselves as people, apart from rediscovering ourselves as a nation, as a democracy.
You know, you have collapsed 3 departments and created this Bureau of Outreach and Communication. Is this part of your idea of New India?
The Prime Minister came with a promise of not sustaining status quo. And the status quo in communication were these silos that the entire ministry worked in. One silo was the Song and Dance Division. One silo was the Department of Field Publicity. The other was with advertising and so on and so forth. And when he spoke about amalgamating everything in terms of governance, I believe last night when he spoke at this very platform, he spoke about giving solutions not through silos, but looking at things in an entirety. And communication today has to be a 360-degree solution, has to be a 360-degree engagement. And given that this is the need of the hour, we did, yes, amalgamate and bring everything in terms of the government outreach and communication under the Bureau of Communication, I think a first in Indian history.
Yes, and lots being talked about in terms of press freedom, online freedom. According to you, the New India, does it have certain limits of expressions?
I think that we today look at creativity in a deconstructed fashion. For us as people, when was the last time that you just enjoyed poetry for the sake of enjoying poetry? In fact, ask anybody here in the room, when did you last read a poem? When did you listen to a song not for the synthesizing beats on it or for the latest rage in terms of a singer, but just for the melody of it? How many of you have reminisced, पुराने ज़माने के गाने ज़्यादा अच्छे थे, आजकल के गाने अभी चलते हैं लेकिन sustain नहीं करते. So we as consumers are deconstructing the creative process, putting it in check boxes, and whatever we like, we take away. For instance, I was told that a film which had a superstar in it, I loved a song in it because the poetry of that song was very nice.
Which one is this?
It's a song called Ghar. It's written by a gentleman called Irshad Kamil. I've never met him. But those words in a song, they were beautiful in terms of expression. And when I told the superstar himself कि मुझे गाना अच्छा लगा, he looked at me very surprised. He said, "Picture ज़्यादा नहीं चली तो मुझे गाना क्यों याद रह गया?" So the idea is that if you enjoy that moment as a consumer, if you enjoy that moment as a citizen, then I think there are more prospects for the creative process in the future, that irrespective of creative energies coming together in an umbrella or for that matter a project, The fact that we can celebrate that individual entity's contribution to a creative process also makes it interesting to be in the times that we are in.
You know, ever since you took charge of the INB ministry,
Yes.
you have made that effort to send a message that this is a new ministry under a new minister, a new order perhaps. And that's why you got Mr. Prasoon Joshi on board, appointed Anupam Kher as well. Why do you think it was important for you and your government to send that message that everything that was being seen from the Sanskari ethos should not be the right lens to look at it?
Osho had once said, a creativity stems from rebellion. And I think the oxymoron is that today, to conform to a set of ideas, to have a code of morality, in itself is looked upon as a rebellion. So, giving Prasoon Joshi an opportunity to serve the larger cause of creativity is in no way taking away from those from the creative processes who have held that office. What makes it interesting to see Prasoon Joshi from my context as a creator who has once contributed to the field and as an administrator is that balance that he will bring between creativity, sensibilities, and the constitutional mandate that he has.
So you took charge at a very, very rocky time. How has the ride been so far?
See, for me, as this was absolutely a new responsibility. I had no experience to see things from a different vantage point. As an artist, as a poet, you've been used to expressing yourself. And here I was part of a constitutional body where there are certain responsibilities. You have to wear a different hat. You have to see from a different lens, from a different vantage point. But I also believe that whenever an artist takes a social a story from or an inspiration from society. See, there are two kinds of entertainers. You cannot say all entertainers are similar. There's a man standing on the stage, there is a hat out of which he takes a rabbit. Taking a rabbit out of hat, or the bag of tricks, or jugglery, probably does not have so much of social responsibility. But suddenly you go out and take a story from a farmer's life. Now, you have to look into the eyes of the farmer and to do justice and understand his life. You cannot very superficially, portray that farmer. You have a responsibility towards, because you have been inspired from life. So there is a spectacle which is taking a rabbit out of the hat versus taking out of society a story or inspiration and expressing that. So I always believed that expression and responsibility go hand in hand. At least for me, always, I never had that conflict. I think that filter was always there. जिसे कहते हैं स्वाभाविक रूप से मूलतः एक क्रिएटिव व्यक्ति के अंदर वो फिल्टर होता है. और मुझे लगता है, मुझे जब ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी गई, तो मुझे लगा कि ये सबसे ज़्यादा संभव तभी है अगर हम जो है विवादों से ज़्यादा विचार विमर्श पर यकीन करें. जब हम एक दूसरे की आंख में आंख डालकर उसको बताएं कि ये वेंटेज पॉइंट से मैं देख रहा हूँ. और सौभाग्यवश क्रिएटिव फ्रेटर्निटी में मेरी एक तरह का मेरी एक एफिनिटी है. लोगों के मन में एक इज्जत है कि इसकी बात हम सुन सकते हैं. मुझे एटलीस्ट ऐसा लगा. तो मुझे लगा कि सी इट इज़ नॉट अबाउट माई पॉइंट और योर पॉइंट. इट्स अबाउट एन इकोसिस्टम विच इज़ वेरी सेंसिटिव इकोसिस्टम where everybody's points of views are respected fundamentally. That is where we are heading towards.
You're talking about a sensitive ecosystem. Did your predecessor actually overlook this sensitive ecosystem that you're talking about? Because you're clearly undoing a lot of decision that was taken by your predecessor.
I never comment about other people's work. I think everybody has a point of view and they are brought up in a certain way. They look at things a certain way. I think he did a lot of good things also, so I do not want to comment on, somebody else's working style, and I don't want to demean anyone. I don't think it's the right thing to do. But what I can do, my belief is that also the word sanskar, when you use the word sanskar, I think we use it and try to abuse it. I think when we want to teach our children about ethics, for example, कितना पैसा कमाया वर्सेस किस तरह पैसा कमाया। अगर हम ये सेंसिटिविटी अपने बच्चों में चाहते हैं तो आप इसे संस्कार कहेंगे, एथिक्स कहेंगे, जो चाहे नॉमेनक्लेचर दे दीजिए, लेकिन मुझे लगता है इसकी ज़रूरत है कि उसके समझ में वो डिफरेंस आए। और वो जो एथिकल हमारे स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं, एक सोसाइटी में अगर एथिक्स नहीं होंगे तो वो सोसाइटी अपने आप पे गर्व नहीं कर सकती। हम किस तरह वल्नरेबल एंड्स ऑफ सोसाइटी को देखते हैं, अगर उसके प्रति हमारी एक संवेदनशीलता नहीं होगी। मुझे कई बार बड़ा अजीब लगता है कि पुलिस की वर्दी में महिलाएं और वो जायरेट कर रही हैं, सपोज। ये एक आप कह सकते हैं भाई उसको ऐसा लगता है, वो ऐसा दिखाता है, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि आप इस देश के साथ न्याय नहीं करते। उसमें बहुत सी लेयर्स होती है। आप ये सोचिए कि एक लड़की इस देश में कितनी बेड़ियों को तोड़कर पहले तो जॉब करती है, उसके बाद वो पुलिस जैसे डिपार्टमेंट में कितनी कड़ी परीक्षाओं के बाद एक उसको वो रोल मिलता है। उसके बाद अगर आपकी निगाह में वो सिर्फ एक शरीर मात्र है, अब भी इतना सब करने के बाद भी वो एक शरीर मात्र है और उसी तरह से आप उसे देखेंगे बस, तो मुझे लगता है कहीं मुझे मेरी संवेदनाओं को आहत मैं होता हूँ। और मुझे लगता है समाज में कहीं वो संवेदनशीलता लाने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए और वो बातचीत से करनी चाहिए, वो सोच में लानी चाहिए। उसे रोकने की जरूरत नहीं, सोच में लाने की जरूरत है कि ऐसी सोच ही आपके मस्तिष्क में दस्तक न दे जो किसी महिला का अपमान करने की सोच हो। वो हमारे बच्चों में वो सोच आए, हमारे समाज में वो सोच आए।
जब पहलाज निलानी जी ने बोला कि लिपस्टिक अंडर माय बुर्का का क्रिटिसिज्म उनका ये था कि लेडी ओरिएंटेड है, तो अब इस तरह के लफ्ज हम शायद आपके सीबीएफसी में नहीं सुनेंगे।
ये तो जुवेनाइल एंड इट्स अ वेरी आई डोंट नो हाउ टू इवन रिएक्ट टू इट, बिकॉज एक्सप्रेशन को वो किसी इस तरह का नॉमेनक्लेचर देना और मुझे कुछ बड़ा हास्यास्पद लगता है।
Smriti ji, often it is seen that this government is more sensitive than most on criticism or anything that is written against the government. Is that the right impression to have?
I think to take away from what Prasoon is saying, when he says the word sanskar, so many have attacked that nomenclature that it almost sounds like a slur now. When he says ethics, people are more willing to embrace it because it sounds much better. And I think that is another aspect, or that is another challenge that one goes through. He does not want to dignified comments like lady-oriented film. अब ये हास्यास्पद है कि आज lady-oriented INB ministry हो गया है. But when you look about how, I wouldn't use the word demonizing, but just because you have a different ideology, a different methodology of communication, or for that matter, a different thought process, you cannot demonize a particular set of conversations because it does not conform to your idea of what a conversation or an imagery, politically or socially, needs to be. And I think that is where the fulcrum of debate should lie. Just because I might not adhere to your idea of what politics or what ideology is supposed to be, that doesn't make me bad, it just makes me different from what you are. But I think that is what the beauty of democracy is, that irrespective of our differences in thought processes, we still under one constitution live and rise as a country.
But ma'am, this demonization that you're talking about, we are seeing that a lot of it, particularly on social media, because the new India...
Who said it's confined only to social media?
New India, in fact, finds its voice also on social media, but there's a lot of hate, abuse. Do you think government in any way can intervene without really crossing its brief?
I think it's a balance and a very delicate one. Firstly, when it comes to content which is on television or for that matter radio or newspaper, there is a code of conduct, there is a code of broadcast, of advertisement that every body which is constituted under the law or for that matter is licensed to function under the law has to adhere to. But online is an ecosystem where legislation in terms of news, legislation in terms of broadcast content material is not very clear. That is something that the ministry is currently undertaking and in conversations with stakeholders. But let it be said that we cannot ignore the capacity of fake news to defame, fake news to demean, or for that matter, a particular bile that is seen online, which tends to possibly silence you or is possibly engineered so that it deviates you from a path which is constructive. But then it is a technology, or it is a space which gives you the freedom to walk away from it. And I think that is the freedom that you need to leverage. That is the kind of engagement you need to have with that platform.
But how can the government really act as a troll monitor?
Instead of saying that you are a troll monitor, one can say that agencies that want to be a part of news and factually want to give, let's say, not only because news today is also very invested with views. It is not devoid of views. And that is the very fine line that certain journalists or media personalities tend to cross. So it's now incumbent upon the consumer to have knowledge of what is pure information or what comes over as opinion. And that is, like I said, something that the ministry is considering in terms of putting it in those words which now reflect on broadcasting and advertorials, having a similar lines of ethics and a code of conduct in a free society that is incumbent upon the agencies to abide to. And then we have, for instance, if it's newspapers, we have the Press Council of India, distant from government, but still self-regulatory enough to awaken its own conscience and take a decision that will bar such processes. Similarly, in television news, you have the News Broadcasters Association. I'm hopeful that such a similar body will also emerge for the social media, at least the news, opinion, and entertainment content.
But the nature of conversations that go on the social media, the hate, the abuse, you have faced misogyny on social media.
Yes.
Do you think in any way, because you are a woman minister as well, there is some way you can intervene personally as well?
I've always said this, and I repeat it again. When you get into a kitchen, you're very well aware of the heat that will be a part of the entire process. If you can't stand the heat, then you get out. As a public figure, you cannot say, I want everything to be very, very nice and cordial in conversations around me or about me. You do know that there are stereophonic noises which are generated politically only so that they can slam you or slur you or in some way instigate you to react. I will only say this, that given the confines of the law, I am aware of my responsibilities and also my rights, and so should every citizen when they come onto social media.
So when you go through this when you get up in the morning and look at those tweets,
who says I get up in the morning and look at tweets?
No, I mean, when you do so,
that's the worst thing you can do to yourself.
So, does it disturb you?
I think ask anybody in the room, the only way to maintain sanity in one's life and sanctity of life and happiness is to make sure you get up in the morning, at least have 1 hour to yourself without the noise.
Without the noise. Prasun Joshi, how do you look at it, the entire conversation on social media, which is largely hate?
देखिए, एक तो we have to understand that we are living in a new world. अभी हमारे पास कोई मॉडल नहीं है कि पहले इस चीज़ को कैसे देखा गया, because the connected world we live in today is a new reality. बहुत से लोग कहते हैं कि फ्रिंज आवाज़ें, मुझे लगता है फ्रिंज आवाज़ें जो है, this is very demeaning to any voice, because कई लोगों के लिए शायद हम फ्रिंज हों जो 5-स्टार होटल में बैठे हैं और आराम से एयर कंडीशन माहौल में सुख भोग कर रहे हैं, तो शायद हम भी फ्रिंज हो सकते हैं किसी के लिए. तो फ्रिंज जैसी कोई चीज़ नहीं होती. पहले तो हर आवाज़ जो पहले, और ये भी समझने की आवश्यकता है कि द वॉइसेस आर नॉट बॉर्न ओवरनाइट. जिंदगी में सुख बुगाहट चलती रहती है, जहन में उतार चढ़ाव चलते रहते हैं. ये पहली बार है कि सबके पास मंच है, मंच पहली बार है. और जब माइक मिलता है तो भारतीय स्वर तो मुखर हो ही जाते हैं. तो हर तरह के व्यक्ति के पास आज मंच है. और नाउ वी डू नॉट नो, आई थिंक दैट्स अ बिग क्वेश्चन एवरीबडी इज फेसिंग, दैट when so many voices come from all sides, how do you deal with it? That to deal with it is a new reality we have to learn. I think it's not the challenge only India is facing. The whole world is facing this new challenge of voices coming. पर एक चीज तो हुई है, कुछ लोग जो मंच पर अपना एकाधिकार समझते थे, उनको ये एहसास हो गया भाई मंच अब सबका है। ये भी हुआ है। और एक समाज जहां पे सब कुछ जाहिर हो, एवरीथिंग प्रकटीकरण जिसे कहते हैं, एवरीथिंग इज एक्सप्रेस्ड। आई थिंक we should trust the consciousness of the society, which will finally take a call on what to trust. चाहे वो न्यूज़ हो, वो फेक न्यूज़ हो, वो झूठ हो, धीरे धीरे आप देखेंगे सब ये धुंध छट जाएगी और सूरज प्रखर रूप से आपके सामने खड़ा होगा। ये होगा।
मैम
नहीं, मैं प्रसून की बात से अपनी बात को इसलिए मिला रही हूँ क्योंकि आज जैसे प्रसून ने कहा कि पहली बार मंच सबके पास है, तो वो लोग जो मंच पर मात्र अपना अधिकार समझते थे, उनमें थोड़ी ये फुसफुसाहट जरूर है कि हाउ डेयर यू चैलेंज हाउ आई व्यूड दिस डेमोक्रेसी, हाउ डेयर यू क्वेश्चन माय हाइपोथेसिस और फॉर दैट lack of the same, how dare you even challenge my legacy. और ये ज़माना जो है हिंदुस्तान में आज, वो उस डेयर पे ही आधारित है। आप राइजिंग इंडिया की बात करते हैं तो राइजिंग इंडिया का हिंदुस्तानी वो हिमाकत करता है कि वो प्रश्न पूछेगा और आपसे अपेक्षा करता है कि आप उत्तर देंगे। लेकिन सोशल मीडिया को हमेशा ये कहना कि सिर्फ जहर उगलने का साधन है, ये भी ठीक नहीं होगा। कई बार विपदा में लोगों के काम भी आया है सोशल मीडिया। और आज जहां पर आज मैं अभिनंदन करती हूँ कि प्रसून एक अंग्रेजी चैनल के मंच पे मातृभाषा राष्ट्रीय भाषा में बोल रहे हैं, तो आज भाषा का जो बंधन है उसको भी तोड़ता है सोशल मीडिया। तो वो व्यक्ति जो मान लीजिए नागरकोइल में, कन्याकुमारी में, बुलंदशहर में या फिर कंधमाल में बैठकर अपने विचारों को, अपने कहीं ना कहीं क्रोध को या अपनी संवेदनाओं को व्यक्त करना चाहता है, वो कहता है कि मुझे अपनी आवाज़ उठाने के लिए दिल्ली तक आने के लिए जहमत नहीं उठानी पड़ेगी। मैं वो उड़ीसा से आवाज़ उठा लूँगा, चेन्नई से, कन्याकुमारी से आवाज़ उठा लूँगा और वो आवाज़ लगभग मरिया शकील तक पहुँच ही जाएगी।
मैम, ट्विटर रिड्रेसल आप लोग करते हैं, एक जो आपका टेम्पलेट है गवर्नेंस का, उसमें ट्विटर का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल रहा है। मिनिस्टर्स जैसे सुरेश प्रभु जी जब थे रेलवे मिनिस्टर, किसी बच्चे को दूध की ज़रूरत थी, उनकी माँ ने ट्वीट किया और नेक्स्ट स्टेशन पर वो अवेलेबल किया गया। उसके अलावा सुषमा स्वराज डज दैट, यू ऑल्सो डू इट। व्हाई डू यू थिंक इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट कि ये जो न्यू इंडिया में ट्विटर का न्यू मॉडल ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन में क्या रोल होगा?
मुझे लगता है ट्विटर अथवा फेसबुक गवर्नेंस को पर्सनलाइज करता है। पहली बार हिंदुस्तान में टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करते हुए देश के प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि वो दिन छट गए हिंदुस्तान में जब पॉलिसी बनती थी सिर्फ दिल्ली की गलियारों में, और वो भी नॉर्थ ब्लॉक या साउथ ब्लॉक में। अब अगर पॉलिसी बनेगी तो उस पॉलिसी में हिंदुस्तान की आवाज़ झलकेगी। और माईगव का पहली बार निर्माण हुआ कि सरकार संवाद मात्र चुनाव तक सीमित नहीं रखेगी, वो संवाद निरंतर चलता जाएगा। और जब आप सुषमा जी का उल्लेख करती हैं या सुरेश प्रभु जी का उल्लेख करती हैं तो गवर्नेंस पर्सनलाइज हो जाती है। कई बार लोग तहमत भी लगाते हैं कि कितनों तक पहुंचिएगा, लेकिन प्रश्न ये है कि जो हम तक पहुंच रहा है कम से कम उसको तो समाधान दे दें।
You talked about fringe and you said कि मेन स्ट्रीम शायद अब फ्रिंज हो गया है। पद्मावत के केस में क्या बोलेंगे, कौन फ्रिंज था?
देखिए, जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा कि मैं इस बात से सहमत नहीं हूँ कि कोई व्यक्ति अपनी भावनाओं को जब व्यक्त करता है, I also feel that there could be politicization of things which happen. I do not deny, I could see that. But at the same time, I think we need to decipher. We need to be able to see where there is, if there is a concern, is it a concern? किसी कम्युनिटी विशेष पर जो देखिए, जो हमारे मेटाफर्स में चीज़ें आती हैं, हम कहते हैं राजपूती शान, हम लोग सुनते आए, वो कहीं से किसी जो मेटाफर्स बनते हैं वो किसी वजह से बनते हैं। सबसे ज़्यादा लैंग्वेज जो होती है वो एक्सप्रेस करती है सबकॉन्शियस को। ये मानना कि जो आपका करंट मोमेंट है, इट इज़ अ सस्पेंडेड रियलिटी, आई डोंट थिंक दैट इज़ फेयर। नो, नथिंग इज सस्पेंडेड रियलिटी। एवरी रियलिटी, जो भी आपका वर्तमान का पल है, वो अतीत की वूम से, अतीत के गर्भ से जन्मा हुआ है। उसमें कहीं ना कहीं श्रृंखलाबद्ध है वो। It is linked with a lot of things which a subconscious of a society is constructed of. A subconscious of a society needs to be respected. Without that subconscious, we are nothing. Now, from that subconscious, if certain concerns come, I think those concerns needs to be looked at. And in the case of Padmavat, as I say, we, I think, went to understand it and as humanly possible, looked at it. And as I said, I fundamentally believe that an artist do not start his work to hurt the society. Artist बहुत ही संवेदनशील व्यक्ति होता है। वो उसकी शुरुआत ही होती है कि मैं लोगों तक पहुंचूं, लोगों के दर्द को समझूं। मैं ये मानता हूं मूलतः। उसके बीच में कहीं कंसर्न्स आते हैं तो उनको देखते हुए, मद्देनजर रखते हुए, यू हैव टू टेक अ कॉल। एंड आई थिंक वी टुक अ कॉल। बहुत से लोगों को ये क्लियर नहीं होता, उस पर काफ़ी वही सतही टिप्पणियां कर दी गई कि भाई वो आई हटा दिया गया, पद्मावती से पद्मावत कर दिया गया। देखिए, उसमें एक सोच थी। ये फिल्म मेकर्स ने भी माना, सब लोगों ने साथ साथ माना कि इसमें एक फिक्शनैलिटी है। ये ऐतिहासिक रूप से सही होने का, सटीक होने का दावा नहीं करती। इट इज़ बेस्ड ऑन द फिक्शनल वर्क ऑफ Malik Mohammad Jaisi, which is called Padmavat. So, collectively, in agreement with the filmmaker, this was decided that yes, to stay true to what it is, if it is called Padmavat, it will be doing justice to, because it is born out of that poem. And that's the reason, not to make it the last word in the life and chronicle of the life of Padmavati, but to be true to the poem, which is staying true to, the name was changed. And such a little bit of changes which in historical, in terms of accuracy, which some people suggested were done. So, if you see, the filmmaker has come out and told you that he has released the film he thought of. Now, that is where the debate should end. That the filmmaker who conceived that film tells you today, I released the film exactly the same way I thought of it. Now, what more you want? First thing. So I hope I have clarified that. Second thing, I was very disappointed when we talk about fake news. 400 cuts. Some media people only said 400 cuts have been suggested. Where did the news come from? Why do you give? आप ऐसी चीजों को हवा देते हैं और हमें शर्मिंदा करते हैं।
कितने cuts थे?
और हमें शर्मिंदा करते हैं, हमारे काम को शर्मिंदा करते हैं, हमारी सेंसिटिविटी को शर्मिंदा करते हैं, हमारी सोच को शर्मिंदा करते हैं। 400 कट जैसी आपने बेहुदी बात आपने हेडलाइंस में डाली। That what do you have to explain? I think media also should come out and explain why did they put that a headline. When finally the filmmaker came out and told you, I got the film released the way I wanted it. Now there has to be some introspection from media also needs to be done.
Yes, I understand that. Let me ask you another question. The criticism is, yes.
Don't dodge it.
No, I'm going to take that question and I'm asking you another question here. The criticism
Don't dodge
is...
it, Maria. I think कि जो प्रसून कह रहे हैं ना, उनकी जो वेदना है, मुझे याद है कि जब इनको हमने पहली बार संपर्क किया और इनसे आग्रह किया, मेरे सीनियर रह चुके हैं इंडस्ट्री में, तो अपने जीवन का एक बहुत ही एक ऐसा विशेष पल है जब जिस व्यक्ति के साथ काम करने का आप सपना देखें, उसको एक आप फोन करके आग्रह करें कि आप ये संवैधानिक जिम्मेदारी स्वीकार करेंगे या नहीं। और प्रसून जी ने एक ही मुझसे प्रश्न पूछा कि सुना है कि बात करके काम होता है, तो बात किससे करनी होगी? हमने कहा संविधान से बताइएगा, उसके अलावा और किसी से बात करने की जरूरत नहीं। तो जो प्रसून ने कहा सही है, 2 कारणों से सही है। संविधान का संरक्षण किया सीबीएफसी ने, ये कहीं भी सुर्खियों में नहीं आया, और ये सबसे बड़ा अन्याय क्रिएटिव प्रोसेस के साथ है, उस क्रिएटिव व्यक्ति के साथ है जिसने अपने नॉर्मल क्रिएटिव जीवन को छोड़कर एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन पर अपने आप को स्थापित करके संविधान की सेवा करने का एक मौका इस्तेमाल किया। आज मैं सार्वजनिक रूप से एक क्रिएटिव पर्सन या मंत्री होने के नाते कहती हूँ कि 400 कट की फेक न्यूज़ चली, लेकिन संजय लीला भंसाली का समग्र देश को ये संदेश कि भाई मैं जो पिक्चर दिखाना चाहता था वो फिल्म दिखाई, वो संदेश आज कितनों को पहली बार शायद सुनाई दिया होगा क्योंकि प्रसून जोशी इस मंच पर बोले थे। तो जब हम संविधान के संरक्षण को हर्षोल्लास के साथ उत्सव के रूप में नहीं मनाते, तब हम वाकई में उन लोगों को और बुलंद करते हैं जो चाहते हैं कि सुर्खियों में सिर्फ शोर मचाकर रहा जाता है।
और इस दौरान मुझे बहुत से so called people who posture themselves as the one who care for the society, care for the right things, I did not see them. I saw a lot of, actually I'm thankful to those people, I can't name them, a lot of them who came forward, and I realized these are the people who care. A lot of people who market themselves as so-called, protectors, they were nowhere. But the people who really care were there. And I'm thankful to those people, and you know whom I'm talking about, the people I'm talking about. If they are listening to me, I really want to thank you for reaching out and making sure the right thing is done.
You know, one thing that is often said is that is CBFC a certification board or a censorship board? How is Prasoon Joshi trying to redefine it?
देखिए, ये सवाल स्मृति जी के क्षेत्र का ज़्यादा है। मुझे तो एक जिम्मेदारी दी गई है कि there is a Cinematograph Act. CBFC follows that act, which is part of the constitutional, system, and we follow that. In that, censorship तो देखिए एक तरह की मनस्थिति है, एक मानसिकता है। ये इस तरह की बॉडी हर देश में होती है, किसी भी देश में आप चले जाएं। फ्रांस जैसे कंट्री में जहाँ पर हम जहाँ की फिल्मों से हम प्रेरणा लेते हैं, बहुत अच्छी फिल्में वहाँ बनी हैं। फिल्म स्टूडेंट्स वहाँ की फिल्में, चाहे वो बुनुअल की फिल्में हों, वहाँ पे ट्रूफो की फिल्में हों, जिनको हम देख देख कर बड़े हुए हैं, वहाँ पर भी ये गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटी है और एक बॉडी है जो फिल्मों को सर्टिफाई करती है। विश्व में हर जगह इसकी ज़रूरत महसूस की गई और उसको किस तरह से एक अच्छी सोच का हिस्सा बनाया जाए, उसको कैसे कंस्ट्रक्टिव बनाया जाए, ये तभी होगा जब आप उसका, मुझे उससे भी ऐतराज़ है कि आप CBFC का इस्तेमाल करने लगते हैं कि कंट्रोवर्सी बना के, रेजिस्टेंस क्रिएट करके हम उसको एक मार्केटिंग टूल की तरह यूज़ करते हैं। अगर आप ऐसा करेंगे तो ना तो वो लोग जो CBFC में काम करते हैं, जो जिनका ये उनका जॉब है, उनकी नौकरी है, वो बड़ी निष्ठा से अपना काम करते हैं, ना उनके साथ न्याय करते हैं, ना उन लोगों के साथ न्याय करते हैं जो लगातार कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इतनी सारी फिल्में हैं, आपको नहीं लगता कि अभी ऑलरेडी इन लास्ट 8 months close to 9,000 films,
right,
short and long film have been passed. 82% of those films have come out without any changes. Rest of it, few modifications have been advised, which is in agreement with the filmmaker. So we are constant. See, it is not an overnight job. Changing sensibility, I think going progressive in your attitude towards what you are doing is a constant job. It's a constant task. And India being such a multi-layered society, it is very difficult to, imagine एक ऐसे घर की आप कल्पना कीजिए जहाँ सिर्फ एक कमरा है, 7 लोग बैठे हैं, एक बच्चा भी बैठा है और एक वृद्ध महिला भी बैठी है, साथ साथ वो टेलीविजन देख रहे हैं। वो साथ साथ क्या देख सकते हैं, कैसे देख सकते हैं, इस चीज़ की कल्पना करना हम लोगों के लिए संभव नहीं होता है। लेकिन जब मैं इस पोजीशन में गया तो मुझे लगा ये कल्पना आपको करनी नहीं चाहिए, उस यथार्थ को देखना चाहिए। यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, यू कैन नॉट stay as Smriti ji said earlier, in a silo and imagine my world is the only world. I think that is the reality. If we understand and together we work towards it, I think everything is possible. We'll make fantastic cinema. We have always made fantastic cinema, and this country is very creative, and I'm very sure that we'll go towards a brighter future.
All right. Before I end this session, and I have to ask this question to Smriti ji, the BJP gets maximum requests for any rallies is of you. You were in Karnataka recently as well, but Amethi continues
I'm
to
way
be
down
your
in the
choice.
list. Top of the list is the Prime Minister, then Amit
After
Shah. I'm
him.
like,
So Amethi continues to be your choice. You continue to nurture the constituency. Will we be seeing the battle in 2019? And particularly because Rahul Gandhi, even as we speak, is actually conducting the first plenary session as the president.
your question is?
I've asked that question. Will we be seeing you as the person taking on Rahul Gandhi in Amethi?
You almost make it sound like one of those melodramas that Prasoon has to sit and censor. But let me say only this, and I've said it on many a times, that for me, Amethi began as a political battle but turned into a personal journey. It is not about an individual that I look upon to defeat. It is an idea that you can be a political representative and ignore a constituency for years on end and still think that it is your moral right to be victorious there. So for me, Amethi is not about a Rahul Gandhi or the Gandhi family. It is about what can I, somebody who just came from just around 10 kilometers from here, in Munirka, born to parents who barely had $200 in their pockets, become a cabinet minister and give back to a society that gave girls like me a chance to rise.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Smriti ji and Prasoon ji. Thanks for this riveting session. And with that, it's the end, Shreya.
Much, Maria. Thank you, Smriti ji, and thank you, Prasoon ji. Great hearing both of you this evening.